The sun dipped below the horizon, painting Earth's cities in hues of gold and amber, a fleeting moment of beauty oblivious to the storm gathering beyond the stars. High above, the sky darkened, not with clouds, but with the arrival of an alien fleet. Massive ships, their hulls black as the void, loomed like predatory shadows, blotting out constellations. These were not explorers seeking dialogue or emissaries of peace. They had come to conquer, to erase humanity from the galaxy. Earth had been marked, and the hour of its reckoning had arrived. In the heart of the Earth Defense Command Center, buried deep beneath the Rocky Mountains, the air was thick with tension. Officers hunched over monitors, their faces pale, eyes wide with disbelief. The screens displayed the alien armada, hundreds of vessels, each a fortress of destruction, their weapons charging with an ominous glow. The countdown to catastrophe had begun. Humanity, unprepared and outmatched, stood on the brink of extinction. 5 minutes until impact. The command officer's voice echoed through the room, trembling as he punched commands into his console. The alien fleet had already obliterated Earth's orbital defenses, satellites, early warning stations, and a handful of outdated warships, reduced to glowing debris in seconds. The military was in disarray, its forces scattered, its morale crumbling. The invaders were too numerous, their technology too advanced. There was no time to regroup, no hope for a miracle. General Elena Marco stood at the center of the chaos, her piercing green eyes fixed on the main screen. At 42, she was a legend in the Earth Defense Force, her strategic brilliance matched only by her unyielding resolve. Her dark hair was pulled back tightly, her uniform crisp despite the sleepless nights. Her hands gripped the edge of the command table, knuckles white, as images of the alien fleet filled her vision. Her mind raced, not with fear, but with the weight of her oath. To protect the billions who called Earth home. Children playing in parks, families gathered around dinner tables, cities pulsing with life, all now at risk of becoming ash. "We can't fight them," she whispered, her voice barely audible. "Not like this." The enemy's weapons were unlike anything humanity had encountered. Energy beams that could vaporize continents, shields that shrugged off nuclear warheads. The alien ships moved with a precision that suggested a hive mind. Their formations flawless, their intent unmistakable. Outside, the sky darkened further as the fleet positioned itself above Earth's major cities, New York, Tokyo, Lagos, Beijing. The sun was gone, replaced by the cold glow of alien hulls. "They've come to destroy us," Marco said, her voice hardening. "But they don't know us." The countdown continued, each second a hammer blow. 3 minutes until impact, the officer announced, his voice cracking. Across the planet, panic spread like wildfire. In streets and subways, people screamed, shoving past one another to reach basements or bunkers, seeking safety that didn't exist. News feeds broadcast the fleet's advance, anchors struggling to maintain composure as they reported the end of the world. In the command center, despair hung heavy. The planet's leaders, once confident in their defense networks, now faced a brutal truth. They were outclassed. "All units are in retreat," the communications officer, Lieutenant Aisha Patel, reported, her voice trembling. Her dark eyes were wide, reflecting the flickering screens. "We've lost contact with the Pacific Fleet. There are no reinforcements." Marco's jaw clenched. The aliens had studied Earth, exploiting every weakness. Its fragmented militaries, its reliance on outdated tech, its lack of interstellar experience. They had planned this annihilation with surgical precision. As the seconds ticked away, a sense of finality settled over the room. There would be no second chances. The aliens' ships, each a floating citadel, bristled with weapons capable of reshaping the planet. Their shields shimmered, impervious to Earth's missiles. The countdown reached 2 minutes. Marco's mind churned, searching for a strategy, a spark of hope. She thought of her daughter, Sophia, safe for now, in a bunker in Geneva. She thought of the world she'd sworn to defend. There had to be a way. Then, a faint blip appeared on the radar. Marco's eyes narrowed. It was a weak signal, distant, almost imperceptible. "What is that?" she demanded. Patel checked the data, her fingers trembling. It's a distress signal, General, but it's coming from Earth. Confusion rippled through the room. From where? Marco pressed. Before Patel could answer, the screen flickered, static giving way to a voice, distorted but chillingly clear. This is Earth's final warning, the voice declared. You have made a grave mistake. The countdown to your doom begins now. The words were not a plea, not a surrender, but a promise. A cold, unyielding vow. Marco froze, her pulse racing. Who sent that? She asked, her voice low. Patel shook her head. It's from Earth, but I don't know how. No one's left out there with that kind of signal strength. Before anyone could process the message, the screens flashed again. A new signal, stronger, pulsed through the system. Symbols appeared, forming a pattern Marco didn't recognize. Complex, almost organic, like a code from another era. The lights in the command center flickered, then went out, plunging the room into darkness. A low hum resonated, not from the equipment but from the Earth itself, a vibration that shook the floor and rattled the walls. Officers exchanged glances, fear mingling with confusion. What's happening? Someone whispered. The hum stopped, replaced by a deep rumble, as if the planet were awakening. The walls trembled, dust falling from the ceiling. Then, as suddenly as it began, the lights returned. The screens blazed to life, revealing an image that stole the breath from every soul in the room. A fleet of ships, human ships, emerged. From the void of space. They were massive, their sleek, dark hulls unlike anything Earth's militaries had ever produced. Their designs were elegant yet lethal, their surfaces shimmering with advanced alloys. Each ship bristled with weapons that dwarfed the alien fleet's firepower. Energy cannons, plasma lances, and missile arrays that pulsed with latent power. They were hidden, Marco whispered, her voice trembling with awe. How is this possible? The voice returned over the speakers, now calm and commanding. You made your mistake when you thought Earth was weak. You've seen only a fraction of humanity's strength. Prepare for the consequences. The words ignited a fire in Marco's chest. The countdown reached 1 minute, but the dynamic had shifted. The aliens poised to strike had no idea what was coming. 2 minutes until impact, Patel said, her voice shaking, but Marco barely heard her. Her focus was on the screens, where the human fleet, Earth's hidden armada, moved into formation. The ships were a marvel, their technology far beyond anything publicly known. Rumors of a secret project, whispered in military circles for decades, flashed through Marco's mind. Project Echelon, a clandestine initiative to build a last-ditch defense, had been dismissed as myth. But here it was, real and radiant, darkening the sky with humanity's wrath. General, the enemy hasn't detected them, Patel reported, her face pale but her eyes alight with hope. Their sensors are focused on our surface defenses. Marco nodded, her mind racing. The aliens had underestimated humanity, believing Earth's scattered militaries and aging fleets were its only defense. They were wrong. Activate the fleet, she ordered, her voice steady with newfound resolve. All ships engage. The command center erupted into action. Officers relayed orders, their fear replaced by purpose. Outside, the alien fleet hovered, their weapons charging, oblivious to the storm gathering below. The rumble beneath the Earth intensified as massive hangar doors, hidden in deserts, mountains, and ocean trenches, slid open. From these secret vaults, the Echelon fleet rose, hundreds of warships, their hulls gleaming, their engines roaring with power. They had been built in silence, funded by black budgets designed by humanity's greatest minds, and crewed by volunteers who knew they might never see the light of day. The fleet ascended, a wall of steel and fire between Earth and the invaders. On the screens, Marco watched as the ships formed an impenetrable formation, their weapons locking onto the alien fleet. Let them come, she whispered, her voice fierce. They'll see what happens when you provoke a species with nothing left to lose. The countdown reached 10 seconds. The alien ships, still unaware, prepared to fire, their energy beams glowing brighter. Launch, Marco commanded. The room shook as the Echelon fleet surged forward. Alarms blared, lights flashed, and the hum of thousands of engines filled the air. The human warships opened fire, their weapons unleashing a torrent of destruction. Energy pulses tore through the alien shields, which crackled and failed under the onslaught. Plasma lances sliced through hulls, causing massive explosions that lit up the void. The enemy fleet, caught off guard, scrambled to respond, their formation breaking apart. "We've broken their lines," Patel shouted, her voice filled with disbelief. "They're retreating." Marco watched, her heart pounding. The alien fleet, moments ago an unstoppable force, was now in disarray, their ships scattering like frightened prey. The Echelon fleet pressed the attack, their precision and power overwhelming. Each blast took down another enemy vessel, pushing the invaders back. The sky, once darkened by alien hulls, now glowed with the fire of humanity's defiance. The aliens fought back, their weapons firing erratically. But they were no match for the Echelon fleet's advanced technology. The human ships were faster, their shields stronger, their weapons deadlier. "They underestimated us," Marco said, her voice steady. "They thought we were powerless." The fleet wasn't just a collection of ships. It was a symbol of humanity's resilience, a testament to their will to survive. The countdown to Earth's destruction had ended, replaced by a new timer. The countdown to humanity's victory. "We're not done yet," Marco said, her eyes fixed on the screens. "This is just the beginning." The alien fleet retreated, their ships fleeing to the outer edges of the solar system, but their commanders were not ones to surrender. Aboard the alien flagship, Commander Zorath, a towering figure with eyes like burning coals, seethed with fury. His species, the Krathar, had conquered dozens of worlds, their technology unmatched, their will unbreakable. Earth was supposed to be an easy target, a primitive planet ripe for plunder. Instead, they had awakened a monster. "We underestimated them," Zorath growled, his voice echoing through the flagship's command chamber. His officers, their insectoid forms trembling, avoided his gaze. "Regroup the fleet. Prepare for a counterattack. We will crush them." But doubt gnawed at him. The human fleet's technology was unlike anything the Krathar had encountered. Sleek, adaptive, and devastatingly effective. Zorath's pride demanded victory, but his instincts warned of danger. Back in the command center, Marco stood before a holographic war map, her officers working tirelessly to track the retreating enemy. The Echelon fleet had pushed the aliens back, but the war was far from over. "They'll return," she said, her voice calm but resolute. "And they'll come harder. We need to reinforce the fleet, fortify our defenses, and prepare for the next wave." The room buzzed with activity as orders were relayed, resources allocated, and strategies refined. The victory was a spark of hope, but Marco knew it was temporary. The Krathar were relentless, their empire built on conquest. They would regroup, analyze their defeat, and strike with even greater force. "We've shown them what we're capable of," she told her team, "but we need to prove it's not a fluke. Earth isn't just a planet, it's a fortress, and we'll defend it to our last breath." Outside, the stars seemed to dim as the alien fleet gathered in the outer solar system. Zorath's flagship, the Dreadspire, loomed at the center, its hull scarred but intact. The Krathar commander studied tactical data, his mind racing. The humans had surprised him, but surprises could be countered. He ordered reinforcements, thousands of ships, drawn from Krathar outposts across the quadrant. "They think they've won," he muttered. "They've only delayed the inevitable." On Earth, the mood was a mix of relief and resolve. News of the victory spread, calming the panic that had gripped cities. People emerged from bunkers, staring at the sky, now clear of alien ships. But the scars remained. Cities smoldered, economies teetered, and millions mourned the fallen. Marco addressed the planet in a global broadcast, her face projected on every screen. "Today, we stood against an enemy that thought us weak," she said, her voice steady. "We proved them wrong. But this is not the end. The Krathar will turn, and we must be ready. Humanity's strength lies not in our weapons, but in our will to fight, to endure, to rebuild. Her words galvanized the world. Factories roared to life, producing drones, weapons, and supplies. Schools trained civilians in combat and engineering, transforming societies into war machines. Orbital shipyards expanded, building new vessels to bolster the echelon fleet. Victor Chen, a billionaire industrialist, redirected his empire to support the war effort, funding advanced weapons labs and reconstruction projects. "We fight smart," he told Marco during a meeting in Geneva. "The Krathar think in straight lines. We'll outmaneuver them." 2 weeks later, the Krathar returned. Sensors detected a massive fleet approaching from beyond Neptune, larger than the first. In the command center, Marco watched the radar, her face grim. "They're not holding back," Patel reported. "Heavy artillery, capital ships, and something. New energy signatures we can't identify." Marco nodded. "They're learning, so are we. Activate the outer defense grid. Prepare the fleet." The echelon fleet, now reinforced with new ships, moved into position. Their hulls glowed with energy, their weapons charged. The Krathar fleet advanced, their ships a wall of destruction, their flagship radiating power. Zorath's voice crackled, over an open channel, cold and commanding. "Humanity, your time is over. Your fleet is broken, your planet will fall. Surrender and we may spare your kind." Marco's response was immediate. "You made a mistake when you came to Earth, Zorath. We don't surrender, we fight." She cut the channel, turning to her officers. "No retreat, no hesitation. This is our home and we'll defend it." The fleet surged forward, weapons blazing. The second battle began with a ferocity that shook the stars. The Krathar ships were more cautious, their tactics refined. They targeted the echelon fleet's weaker vessels, exploiting gaps in the formation. Energy beams tore through space, shattering human ships. Explosions lit up the void, debris scattering like confetti. "We're losing hull integrity on multiple ships," Patel reported, her voice tense. "They're hitting us harder than before." Marco's jaw tightened. "Hold the line, we need to draw them in." The strategy was risky. Lure the Krathar deeper into the solar system, where Earth saw hidden defenses. Asteroid-based cannons, lunar drone swarms, and Mars-based energy platforms could strike. The fleet fought with relentless precision, their ships dancing through the chaos, dodging beams and returning fire. The Krathar pressed their advantage, unaware of the trap. Then Marco gave the order. "Activate the secondary defenses." From the asteroid belt, massive cannons fired, their projectiles slamming into the Krathar fleet. Lunar drones swarmed, overwhelming enemy sensors. Mars's platforms, hidden beneath the planet's surface, unleashed energy pulses that crippled alien shields. The Krathar formation faltered, their ships caught in a crossfire they hadn't anticipated. Zorath roared in frustration, his flagship taking hits. "How are they doing this?" he demanded. His officers scrambled, their sensors overloaded. The humans were fighting smarter, using their system's terrain, asteroids, moons, gravitational fields, to their advantage. But Zorath had one final weapon, a planet killer designed to collapse Earth's atmosphere, rendering it uninhabitable. "Charge the cataclysm device," he ordered. "End this now." In the command center, alarms blared. "They're charging." "Something massive," Patel reported. "Energy readings off the charts." Marco's eyes narrowed. The Krathar were desperate, and desperate enemies were dangerous. "Target the flagship," she ordered. "All ships, focus fire. We can't let that weapon fire." The echelon fleet redirected its firepower, beams and missiles converging. On the Dreadspire, the flagship's shields flickered, its hull shuddering under the assault. Zorath's officers worked frantically, the cataclysm device nearing full power. "We're losing shields," one shouted. Zorath ignored them, his focus on the weapon. "Fire now," he commanded. A massive energy surge erupted from the Dreadspire, a beam aimed at Earth, capable of ending all life in seconds. But humanity was ready. A single echelon ship, the Intrepid, piloted by Captain Aiko Tanaka, had maneuvered dangerously close to the flagship. As the Cataclysm device fired, Tanaka launched an experimental EMP warhead, designed by Chen's labs. The pulse struck the Dreadspire, disrupting its systems. The energy beam fizzled, dissipating harmlessly. The flagship's core destabilized, and seconds later, it erupted in a catastrophic explosion, shockwaves scattering the Krather fleet. "They're retreating!" Patel shouted, her voice filled with disbelief. The alien fleet, leaderless and broken, fled into the void. Marco exhaled, her body trembling with exhaustion and relief. "We did it," she whispered. The command center erupted in cheers, officers embracing, tears streaming down their faces. Earth had survived. The victory was bittersweet. Thousands of ships had been lost, millions of lives sacrificed. Cities lay in ruins, their skylines scarred by Krathar bombardments. But humanity had proven its strength. In the weeks that followed, Marco oversaw the rebuilding effort, coordinating with global leaders and Chen's industrial network. The Echelon fleet, though battered, patrolled the solar system, ensuring no Krathar remnants returned. Then, a message arrived from the Galactic Council, a coalition of alien species that had dismissed humanity as insignificant. The representative, Voltrax, appeared on a screen in the command center, his features cold and calculating. "General Marco, humanity's strength has been noted," he said. "We offer an alliance, a partnership to ensure galactic stability. In return, we ask for your cooperation in maintaining peace." Marco's eyes narrowed. The Council had ignored Earth's plight, offering no aid during the war. Now they sought to harness humanity's power. "Earth doesn't need your protection," she replied, her voice firm. "We've proven we can stand alone. If you want an alliance, it will be on our terms." Voltrax nodded, a flicker of respect in his eyes. "The choice is yours, General." The screen went dark. Marco turned to her officers, their faces reflecting the same resolve she felt. The war had changed Earth, forging a united planet, stronger and wiser. The stars, once a distant dream, now beckoned with opportunity and danger. "We rebuild," Marco said, her voice steady. "We grow stronger and we chart our own path. The galaxy will know humanity not as survivors, but as conquerors." As she gazed at Earth from the command center's viewport, the planet glowed. With life, its scars a testament to its endurance. The war was over, but humanity's journey had just begun. The stars awaited, and Earth would meet them on its own terms, ready for whatever challenges lay ahead.